Welcome to Smash Writing, and boy, do we have another fun horror comedy movie that good old Justin recommended us reviewing. And today we are talking about the 2000 film Ginger Snaps. Now, when you told me what this film was about, you didn't tell. I swear you didn't add the werewolf crap into it.
I did. I said that I love Ginger Snaps, except that it has a bad-looking werewolf.
I swear
on multiple occasions.
No,
I talked about this movie on before.
I swear I heard you say, because I was like, talking about the name sounds stupid. And you're like, no, it's about a redhead named Ginger that snaps.
Oh, no, because I've talked about it on podcasts. I've talked about it on reviews that came up when we were doing the decade ranking. I said, the only problem with Ginger Snaps is it has a bad-looking werewolf.
Go ahead and break down the plot, because now we're talking about werewolves and...
Oh, I'm tagging you this time. You break down the plot.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so here we meet... Like, literally at the beginning of the film, you meet two sisters. Ginger and what was the other one's name? Like, Bree or something?
No, let me...
I think it was like Bree. Or she called them B. Bridget. Okay. So they're obviously, like, they're high school students, but they're infatuated with, like, death. To the point where I guess they were doing a video project in school.
Yeah, they have all the ways that they could die, like scored on fences and everything.
Yeah, like that was a good touch. So we get through the film that...
That's a project I would have turned in school.
And I would be in the back going, I do not know him, I swear.
Directed by Paul.
Yeah.
Edited by Paul.
Yeah.
Ideas by Paul.
Anyway,
by Paul.
at the same time that we're learning about these sisters, we also get into that some creature is killing dogs. I think like the opening scene with like the dog, the first dog being killed, I really thought it was like Ginger and Bridget doing
Yeah, to be very sure of that.
I'm pretty sure the creatures are your next door neighbors, because the scene is like boom, the dog, then it kicks over to Ginger and Bridget. Well, of course, you know, they get picked on for being the outcast, and then...
And they do have, like, a suicide pact going on, too, at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's like...
Something like that.
Something about it's like they both hit the age of 16, and if they're not gone, they're going to just kill themselves. So if one kills herself, the other one has to kill herself. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, really? I mean, you can be infatuated with death, but... Yeah, oh, my sister... didn't do this at 16, so we're going to kill ourselves at 16.
I'm planning on killing you at 35.
Why at 35?
Nice round number.
This is not a suicide pact.
This is just a murder pact at this point.
Yeah, it's a homicide in the making. So, then, I guess, they haven't developed the periods yet, and Ginger is the first one to get her period. And were they were walking home from like school or something, right? Or
yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Attacked by the creature,
and the creature went after Ginger because she was having her period, and it smelt the blood, so it attacked her. Then I guess like the second half of the film, you start to really see her transition, not only as a werewolf. But as her personality is completely changed, she's having unprotected sex. She's like stealing girls as boyfriends, and of course Bridget is kind of left in the dark. And then she slowly sees that her sister is growing a tail, developing things, which I don't know how anybody missed that, but you know, apparently that was normal.
It's more along the lines of hypnotic kind of deal. You're looking past it.
Okay, so because there's like, oh, it's Ginger, we just don't care.
Yeah.
And
werewolf lore is sexual attraction. You'll look past everything like that.
Okay, so then the part comes where now Bridget is finding like what we think is a cure. What it's called, like Moonshook or Monshook or something, that a drug dealing friend made, and it's revealed that Bridget gets attacked by Ginger, and it suppresses her changes, so she's going to have to try and save her sister, but her sister's too far gone.
Yeah, she's killing rivals and people she doesn't like.
Yeah,
anyone who crosses her, pretty much.
Pretty much. So she is she's full out, and they come to attack, and they finally, her and the drug dealer dies, but she finally does kill her sister, and I guess that's like the end. What the fuck, man? This movie. So, okay, you know what? In all fairness, it did make me go, what the fuck? But it was actually somewhat, I was able to follow along. The development, they, really focused on how Ginger and Bridget were outcast. And, and I think a lot of people out there who have siblings the same age, and, you kind of become friends with them more than anything. So you got to see their bond, and which made the ending, understandably more hard for Bridget, because she has to kill her sister. I didn't know having unprotected sex can make you a werewolf if you do it with a werewolf in turning.
There's so much. I wouldn't be surprised if it was somewhere in the lore, or it could have just been made up for the movie.
That is true too. So you're right about the werewolf. That werewolf, like, they could have gone. The budget was probably low, and it's like,
yeah, this was not a big budget movie.
No, and it was like, man, you could have just put more money towards the werewolf, and that would have saved this film. I still think this is a great movie. I'm gonna label it.
It's the psychological element of watching Ginger. Ginger's not only just growing into the werewolf; she's also growing woman because of her period and everything. You're watching the divide of time between Ginger and Bridget.
Yeah, and like I says, I do like the character development. You do get the feel for, you start to feel bad for Bridget because, she's the younger sister, and she looks up to Ginger. She follows Ginger's. I believe the parents in several scenes make it note that Bridget always wants to follow Ginger. Whatever Ginger wants, Bridget wants. Bridget can't really think for herself. So as Ginger is going through this transformation, you have to see that Bridget has to kind of start to fend for herself, because, she's not sleeping around. She's still being Bridget from the beginning of the film. And, literally until...
Well, even like at the beginning where they're talking about the suicide pact, you can tell that Bridget's not on board for this anymore.
Yeah, because Bridget is only literally 15. She knows that your life is just beginning at 15 and 16. And, I mean, sure, their parents were weird, but other than that, they seem like they have a decent life. And like I said, she follows Ginger everywhere she goes. So you do see her kind of come her own character in the end, knowing that she has to make the ultimate sacrifice, and that's killing Ginger. So I really did enjoy the character development with them. You got to understand them both. You got to feel bad for Bridget through the whole film. I mean, the acting was pretty much on budget. Like, I'm not saying it was like Academy Award winning acting, but
oh, don't you dare! Catherine Isabella is amazing. That's one of my favorite actors of all time.
What other films was she in? What other films was she in?
Well, I first introduced to her in Freddy vs. Jason.
Now I'm drawing.
American Mary, that's a fucked up movie. You want to talk about a fucked up movie? Watch American Mary.
Maybe next time.
Done. American Mary is the next one.
Oh God, shoot me. I mean, like I said, I thought it was like average acting. I'm not saying anybody was bad.
I thought the chemistry with her and her sister, Emily Perkins, was really good.
Yeah, I think they really went all in for this role and really, made it believable. I think I think honestly the best part of the film was those two through the whole film.
Especially with the psychological dynamic they were trying to tell here. They really needed to nail the Fitzgerald sisters, and they got it done right.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like I says, I think, you know what, to be honest with you, I do think the werewolf probably leaves a sour taste in people's mouths with this film.
Well, it's like watching the body transformation with Ginger was better than what the end product was.
I agree. I think at one point you had hair growing out of her cuts. You've seen the details of the tail that she had was better than they could have just left her like that, and I would have been sold on the werewolf being just having a human having a tail. So,
it did not seem like this was a transformation that you can come back from. Like once you become the wolf, you're the wolf.
Yeah, and I to my impression, most werewolves only turn during the full moon. That's what, at least
No, there are various things with it.
So it's basically
werewolf lore is weird.
Okay, but I would have just been happy with giving her a tail, because up until the werewolf, even when you saw the previous werewolf, the graphics were just, everything was on par. I had no problem with the film until I physically seen the werewolf. And then that's when I kind of was like, they could have just they could have kept the werewolf off screen, and I would have been perfectly fine with it. So, in the end, what are you giving this film? And what's your likes and dislikes?
I'm giving it an
A. Oh, good. What? You are giving these A's out way too much right now.
This is a great movie, just because you didn't like it.
No.
You wanted to give Requiem a B. I don't want to hear it.
My original notes, yes, but then I altered them as we were recording the episode. And no, I'm not sitting here saying I don't like it. The
amount of times I've fawned over this movie, yes, it's getting an A.
Oh, of course you're giving it an A. I'm going to probably stick with a B. I thought they could have done a better job with the werewolf, of course. I get it, this is a low-budget horror film, but, you got to put some money into that creature. I did enjoy the chemistry between the two main actors. I did enjoy the character development. Some of the dialogue seemed to be just far out there, and I get it, that's what they were aiming to do. It just didn't click with me. But I think some of the dialogue in the far out there, with the werewolf being horrible, what kind of dropped it maybe from an A to a B to me.
Didn't you just complain about me giving it an A?
Well, no. I said you're giving out A's like it's like nothing.
The last two movies were B's.
It seems like you're giving a lot of high grades these days.
Hey, you get a B if I enjoy it. You get an A if I really enjoy it.
Okay, so I'm giving it a B. I think it was above average, but below great horror films. I'm not going to put it with some of the better films that I do like. So, but I'm still giving it a B. I think that's still a winning grade. So, be happy. Jesus.
Good Lord, man.
Oh, God. Okay, but
that's it. Next time we're watching Sharktopus vs. Barracuda.
Stop this. People, you will not hear that last line. I will find a way to edit that out, because he's picking these random movies and...
I've seen your editing. You'll leave it in.
But, until next time, people.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.